shit. Oh no. Mouse, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, boy. Mama. Hi, honey. Good morning. Morning.
I'm not a morning person. The top secret, best thing you could ever put in your coffee.
Oh
A
no.
little bit of butter. Yeah, it's amazing. 3 beans, baby. And this is where we drink our coffee in our treehouse. It's our little deck.
Wait, look, I just got this.
What'd you
Look
get?
at how cool. It's a Kindle.
And this is my whale coffee cup.
Whale.
And we sit here and we look out in the morning. And sometimes when it's really clear, we can see the mountains of, what is it, Lake Tahoe or something all the way over there in the snow. And that's it. Right, Harley? Right, Harley?
My sweet boy. He's so handsome.
Oh, there's a begging girl. There's a begging girl.
He's so
What you want, Mama? What you want? And we get this for about an hour.
my favorite part of the morning. Favorite part.
5 eggs. Does the body good. Bacon fat. What you doing over here?
The muffs are getting some potatoes.
We cook sweet potatoes.
I'm thinking some potato and beef today.
They're having beef.
Beef and
Did you
potato.
hear that? Did you hear that, you starving muppet? Huh? Yeah.
Oops.
She always acts like she cannot survive without food
Poor Harley.
for 5 more minutes.
Am I burning my eggs?
Yep.
Oh no.
Okay, bye. Here's a good boy. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There's the antenna. He always gets that leg up. For Becky's.
Got some Eggos and Ezekiel bread with strawberry jam. My favorite.
Strawberry jam.
This toast is so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, if you guys aren't drinking 5 grams of creatine in your water every morning, which I actually have no idea what it does, what benefits, but apparently it's good for you. And here we have one of Aggie's projects at our house. She took out all this grass,
One of many projects.
solarized it. Yesterday I had to hoe right there for about 2 hours to get all the grass out because it's Bermuda grass, which is a bitch. Got a little tree over there we call Bruce the Spruce. And this is Aggie's little flower garden. That's where she works on all her little flowers. Lime tree.
Look how pretty these are. Look at. And those.
And then this is our side yard, which we're gonna have some trees removed and get it all leveled out so that we can have parties and friends and put a little pool over there at that where that fireplace is. And that's it. Gonna be looking good here soon. Right?
Me.
And there's all her plants. Lord have mercy.
Plans. I have big plans. I have big plans for my plants.
Oh boy.
On our way to the gym. The window's really dirty.
Yeah, I hit a lot of bugs driving through here, but damn, it stinks. Let's go, animals. Let's go to the park. Inside. This is our ritual. Come to the park. They get to run around. We all hang out.
Come on, come on,
Come on. There they go. Every day. Have a good life. Right?
Yeah.
We are in the process of setting up for our video. We set up over there. And the animals stay back here. Most of you have seen them in the videos before. They know not to cross this line, this threshold, until we tell them they can. So they just stay back here. This is where I hang up my belt. Not sure why I chose to put it on that light, but I did. Check this out. I found some of my old medals from back in the day. This is like a few white belts, some blue belt, couple purple belt. This is Worlds, wait, that's San Francisco Open. Worlds, silver, Worlds, bronze, what is this, gold, bronze, something, San Francisco Open. Bunch of Gracie Open wins. A lot of old wins, a lot of old medals in mine, which is really cool that I found those. I don't know where the rest of them are. I never really cared much, but I think it'd be cool if I had them all, but you know, my purple belt, my brown belt, all that stuff. But yeah, that's the little section. The goose is protecting it. Always gotta watch out for the goose mentality. Little merch. Mic check, 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 check. So doing our setup, Aggie gets the camera set up.
I normally do the setup, I do the whole thing.
She does the setup to make sure that we get the right angles on the gym and
I don't know if you've noticed, but some of the videos, like it's all messed up. Like you either see the ceiling too much or too far this way or too far that way. That's when Drew sets it up. When it's nice and perfect, that's me.
Anyway, we do, I use a bottle opener and a pencil to outline where the frame is on the mats. And that's how we know to stay in the shot. There's the mups all the way over there. So that's our setup pretty much every time.
So Brian told me to practice these ones, the pikes, like compression.
God.
Because I dropped my hand like this, so all my fingers hit each other.
It wasn't very smart, was it? Put it here. Wrist pin.
Oh shit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm Andrew. This is Aggie. We're here at Nexus Jiu-Jitsu in Folsom, and it's our 100th video today. Woo-hoo! I can't believe we've already made 100 videos. It went by so quick, and thank you guys so much for all the support. As some of you know, we got our first BJJ Fanatics instructional out. You should definitely cop that. It's all about the secret weapon, straight arm bars, and a whole entire comprehensive guide around that. As some of you also know, we just got married last week, went down to Santa Barbara. It's been a big couple weeks for us, a good start to the summer. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of do more of a vlog style, get to know how our day runs, especially on a day where we're recording. So today, as far as our instruction goes.
Wait, I just want to say, everyone should comment their favorite moment from one of our videos.
That's
maybe what you guys want to see. But I think everyone's little favorite bit, whatever happened, whether it be move or...
Yeah, what was your favorite technique, or what was your favorite aspect of the video? I know a lot of you talk about the dogs, like you can see Bodhi back there just laying on the mat. So what was your favorite part? What was your favorite point in the last 100 videos? If you have one, throw it down in the comments. We'd love to hear that.
I want to read them.
Get in a little dialogue with you guys. Yeah, so as far as the technique goes for today, it's something that's very important to me and special to me and works so well for me. I call it wrist pins. And so this is going to be about wrist pin magic. We're going to talk about the wrist pin from close guard, the wrist pin from half guard, and the wrist pin from mount, and what I use them for and why they're so effective. In terms of the goals of people in all those positions, wrist pins can really just stifle all of those options. And especially for my MMA fighters, we talk about this stuff a lot. Because in MMA, it's all about scrambles, and then whoever wins the scramble usually wins the fight. So I want to be able to nullify scrambles to the best of my ability. And those of you who do no-gi primarily, you know that as a big part of the games. Scramble, 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 get sweaty, get slippery, and whoever's more athletic, whoever has better cardio wins. So I like to use these options to really nullify those situations. So again, we're looking at close guard, half guard, top, and mount, and what wrist pins are and how they help me. So yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so I'm here in the close guard, and in the close guard, for her to win, there's two major important aspects. She needs to create motion and angle. She needs to be able to get movement happening, and she needs to create angle kind of on her terms. Because from here, a square position with square hips, there's no real attacks. There's no good triangles and arm bars and omoplatas and guillotines and hip bump sweeps and blah, 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 blah. It's not there unless she can create angle between our hips and our spines. So in general, in no-gi or in MMA, the first thing I look to do is get inside ties. Okay? In MMA in particular, I'm looking to get these inside ties and bring my head close to their head. The further down my head is towards their legs, the more likely they can use their legs to attack me. And like with elbows and stuff, if she brought her arm over her head and dropped an elbow, like this is where she can do damage to me in MMA. So I want to be here really close and playing close head to head. So now it's hard for her to create motion and damage. And it's a little easier for me to come up and maybe look for damage and play here, right? So now I'm controlling her. And if she tried to create angle with her hips right now, I'd be able to really pin her and keep her stuck here. So while we're fighting from here, one of my goals and what I'm going to look to do is just kind of slide down the arm and find the wrist and get a good wrist pin, right? And it's fairly straightforward. My hands are already on the arms like a rope, so it's not hard for me to find the knot at the end of the rope here as I slide down the arm. So we're here in this hand fight, we're playing, I'm blocking her entries, I'm blocking, I slide down, boom, there's my wrist pin. Now, when I want to go for this particular motion, and I love this pass, when I want to go for this position, whatever side I pin the wrist on, I want to take my head to the opposite side of their head. The reason for that is if I bring my head to the near side, I make this arm shorter around her body, and it's going to be actually hard. I don't have very long arms, so I have to get everything I can. So if I bring my head to this side and I try to reach around her body with this left arm to grab the wrist, I'm kind of hindering myself. So I'm going to bring my head to the same side of the arm I'm reaching with, and that'll make my arm longer across the body, right? So we're playing here. I go for my wrist pin. I'm going to take my head to the opposite side here, and I'm going to really post my head on the mat and get my hips up here. Look, see how that brings her hips off the mat? That's very important. Now, I'm not usually going to be strong enough to do this. It's going to be this that brings her hand close to this hand. Okay, and now I can grab this wrist, and now I have my good control. Now in MMA, this is a good spot to start playing punches. What I want you guys to be cautious of is the triangle, because I've been caught in this position a lot with like the old school guys I used to train with when I was a kid. And when they'd go here to try to break my close guard, and I just throw my leg over the shoulder, and now we're in a triangle situation. Now, yeah, my hand is stuck, but they're in a triangle, right? So if you're playing here and you're gonna land damage, make sure you're mitigating this knee, right? And you can land damage in MMA. And you can also use this, like say she wants to go for that triangle, I can use this to pass and manage the position. Now, if I get this grip on her wrist, her shoulders are sore. She's been doing handstands and all sorts of stuff. If I get this grip on her wrist and I want to break the close guard, maybe she's like fervent on keeping her close guard, I got some nasty stuff for you here, right? So to look at it again, she's got her closed guard, okay? I want to find inside position, especially MMA, especially in MMA. I want to find this inside position on the biceps, using my elbows to the mat to mitigate her angles and her arms. I look to find the wrist and pin it to the mat. Again, I'm not usually strong enough to just push their arm through. I'm gonna use my legs and my hips. So my head goes to the opposite side of the wrist pin, here, all the way to the mat, and my hips come up. And now look, I walk around catching. And I come back here. Now, if this is MMA, I'm gonna throw a bomb elbow.
I would die.
From an elbow?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this boom, big elbow, all right? With two goals. One, hitting them in the head with my elbow, and the other, getting my elbow on the far side of her head, right? If it's pure jiu-jitsu or a grappling match, I'm just gonna try to get this elbow on this side of her head, all right? So here, if it's MMA, I'm throwing that big elbow, all right? Boom, and I'm looking to go here. If it's jiu-jitsu, I'm just gonna bring this elbow across. And now what I'm gonna do is pinch her head towards her knee, and then I switch my hips to face her head. So I go here, and switch my hips. And now I step. See how the guard breaks? Almost every time, even with flexible guys. Imagine MMA, boom, boom, big shots, okay, be really fun. If I wanna pass, I can look for this. If I'm here, she can sometimes hook my arm with her leg, right? Her right leg can hook under my arm here, and they might be able to cause like puppet master issues, right? Not the worst scenario, but I don't want to deal with this. So when I go to deal with this leg after I've broken her guard, I usually like to get this elbow low on the calf. And I just press the calf down and step over. Again, MMA, great position. I can throw damage, whatever I want. If it's jiu-jitsu and I want to finish my pass, I usually go back to here, crunch their head back in, pivot my hips out, and high step past the leg. And now I usually go straight into knee on belly positions where I still have their arm trapped, pinning here, and now I can come up into kind of these mounted triangle style positions where her hand is stuck underneath her. Get that arm out.
I don't like this.
Right? And now if it's MMA, good position to land a couple shots. They'll obviously scramble. They're probably gonna turn this way. So I'm gonna monitor that. If it's pure jiu-jitsu, good spot to start setting up all of our good options. Right? One more time.
God, that sucked.
All right, so again, we're in closed guard here. I want to get my inside ties. Right? I need to get my inside ties, work into this position, and I like to close my elbows so their hips are stuck, right? And at this point, there's going to be a lot of hand fight. And what a lot of times people do, especially if they want to get kind of tie-ups of their own, is they'll be trying to pummel their hands inside of mine, right? So when I'm here, she's gonna be trying to bring her arms inside like that. She wants this. See, my elbows are on the outside now and my hands are on the mat and she has inside position. So what does she have to do to accomplish that? She has to straighten her arm, bring her hands down towards my knees, towards her hips, to get them under my elbows. Well, let's go back. She does that, look where her wrist is. It's right there for me to grab onto, okay? These are gonna be fast and fleeting positions. They're pummeling their hands, it's gonna be quick, but those are the opportunities that I need to take advantage of, right? So I got my inside position. She's trying to pummel inside, I'm inside. She tries to pummel, wrist pin right here. My head goes to the opposite side of the wrist pin, okay? And I wanna keep this nice and close, all right? So my head goes to this side, head on the mat, hips up. I run them across, grabbing that wrist, playing here. Now, a lot of times I won't even give space here. I'll just go right to this. But if it's MMA and I want to create damage, I might give some space so I can play damage here, right? These are good, boom, big elbows to the body, especially if I was holding her right arm, I'd be able to get to that liver. Anyway, so now when I want to break this guard, I'm going to bring my elbow over her head, here, pull the head in, and now I flip my hips. The more violent I flip my hips, the more likely it is that her guard just pops when I do that, right? So as I turn my hips here, facing my belly button and her head, the more violently I do this, the more likely it is her guard pops. It doesn't always though, especially with the flexible people. So I step, playing here, working this pressure. There's the guard pop. Now I can reach back using my elbow, stepping over, playing here.
Bad.
Now, when I get to this position where I've just popped the guard and I'm switching my hips, because of how high up we end up, it's actually hard for them to relock their legs in any good fashion, right? So when I'm here, and I've popped their guard, right? And I go to step over this leg, it's weird for them to try to relock their feet here. It's kind of hard, right? So when I switch my hips, a lot of times I'm able to just go here. If they do cross their feet and start playing like a half guard, I just drive my knee over the hips. And now I'm pinching my knees. See how I'm blocking her elbow here, right? And she's stuck in this kind of almost mounted triangle position. It's not that hard for me to get this foot out. And in actuality, in MMA, a lot of times I don't want to. I want to keep it there. But if I do get this foot out, we're in mounted triangle options, things of that nature. I can also go into wrist pins right here. If this was MMA, we'd be real close to TKO finishes at this point. Like, this is not good for her, right? If it was pure jiu-jitsu, I'd probably look to extract this foot in any number of ways, start playing my mount, my options here, climbing up for mounted arm bars and triangles and things of that nature. That hand's just trapped underneath you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not comfortable, right? So that's how I like to play the wrist pin from the closed guard, okay? Let's see how we work it from half guard and how the half guard one can lead a lot of times into the mounted wrist pin options, right? All right, so now let's look at the wrist pin from half guard. I want to talk kind of in depth about what these people usually want, right? And how I can mitigate it pretty easily through the process of wrist pins. I have some videos where we talk a little bit in depth about this underhook fight, the far side underhook, and how I believe that the far side underhook is not as dominant as it once was, like in the 90s and early 2000s, and it was all about getting this far side underhook. But now with, Craig Jones and all these guys who hit triangles from Z-guard and these things, it isn't really that great, okay? Whereas near side underhooks and near side wrist pins, that's gonna change the game a bit, right? For all of you who don't play it yet. So when we're here, especially MMA, I keep going back to MMA. Maybe some of you are fighters out there, maybe some of you have aspirations to be fighters. I'm a fighter, I have fighters here. I like to look at jiu-jitsu in the fight context, not just sport jiu-jitsu, right? In a fight, bottom is where you go to die, right? Top is king, period. So these people are usually looking to get the underhook, get up on their elbow, and start working this bottom knee out so they can build up, right? If they can get up to this elbow, then they've kind of won the battle, really. Like, this is gonna be, I'm behind here. Especially if she jacks me up over her shoulder, right? And starts working herself out. I lose the hips, I lose control of her body, I lose that bottom leg, and she's out. In pure jiu-jitsu, this happens too, right? I like to have more of a wrestling dynamic in my jiu-jitsu. I don't just play bottom guard. I make you constantly worried I'm gonna wrestle up. That puts me into better options, okay? One real easy way to mitigate that is by pinning this wrist. So here's the experiment you can all do at home. Lay down on your side, put your elbow on the mat, your elbow here, and now build up over your elbow without pulling your elbow back, right? So you feel that? Like, it's not super hard, but it's not easy. Mm-hmm. Now do it by pulling your elbow back underneath you first, okay? This is how someone needs to be able to build up, is by getting their elbow under their shoulder so they have this power prop, so they have this post. If their elbow's out here and they need to build up over their elbow, watch this, do it again. Barely any pressure on her stops her from doing that. What is that, 10 pounds of pressure? Imagine 180 pounds of pressure.
Oh, no way.
She's never gonna be able to build up, right? So this is the concept we're dealing with, we're playing with here is if she can't draw that elbow underneath her shoulder, she's gonna have a real hard time building up onto her elbow. She's using this weak muscle, this delt muscle, to try to build herself up with all my weight on her. Good luck, right? So where this comes into play is say we're here, we're in this fight, I'm kind of maybe playing fundamental starting position a little bit, and I look to go into this wrist pin. She gets the underhook, she wants to build up, I just sit right here. Go ahead, build up, honey. Get up on that elbow.
I'm trying.
Yeah, and then look, her shoulder right there is already just burning. It's firing, and it's a weak muscle that doesn't recover quickly. So now that shoulder's a little burnt, and she realizes she can't get up because her elbow can't get underneath her, right? With the grip sequence, what I want you guys to make sure of is that you're playing with supinated grips, not pronated grips, okay? The way I think about it is I want my thumb going in the direction of their fingers, not in the direction of their shoulder. The reason for that is inside position, elbows in, hands inside, is powerful, it's dominant, right? So if I were to go pronated, if she wants to break this grip, she's gonna roll her hand to the inside to go towards the weakness of my grip, and that's what breaks my grip and brings her hands back in a defensive structure, and it brings her elbow closer to her body, where now she can build up onto her elbow, okay? Like that. If I go supinated and I pin her wrist here, not only does that facilitate bringing my weight over her a little more, here I can sit here, but I can't sit back and do that. I have to bring my weight over her, so that puts my pressure on her more. But now if she tries to roll her hand to the inside like she just did, it goes right into the strongest point of my grip, right? Where for her to actually break this grip now, she has to go out and away. Well, if she moves her arm out and away, this makes my life even easier. Makes her life way harder, right? Elbows away from the body, extension of limbs, offers me inside position and submission potential. We always want to be here, not here. But because of the grip sequence, I'm only offering her this really bad option. Now at some point, take your hand out and away and try to break that grip. At some point she gets maxed out. She can't go any further. And I'm still just putting pressure on her wrist, right? Again, all these things go into the fact that I can keep her flat, not worried about her hips getting up and her bottom leg coming out, and I can work passing potential, right? In MMA, the sequence I like to do, we're here, she wants to come up on that underhook, I wrist pin, and now what I do after they kind of can't stay up on their elbow anymore because their shoulder burns out, is I blast a huge elbow here. Boom, right? And now look, right into my underhook. Yeah, so she's here with this underhook. Okay, as soon as I feel her kind of sag down, like she's like, fuck, I can't. I throw this big elbow and I peel right into this underhook. Well, now I'm in a great position to start passing sequences, right? This is a dead arm for her. I still have an arm I can act with. I like to take my head to the near side and pinch her head to her shoulder, and I can walk my hips up. Look, get this leg in the fight, look to go shoelace method, and find mount options. Okay. Once I find my mount, I can keep this leg pinned just to stop the offensive potential and come up and start looking to attack in any number of ways I see fit. I can go all the way to mount for points if this is pure jiu-jitsu. In MMA, I'd probably keep that hook on the leg just to keep them kind of flattened out. And now I can work from here. And this is where that half guard wrist pin can lead into the mount wrist pin that we're going to talk about, right? Now we're really in a dominant spot. If she doesn't address this, I attack. If she addresses it, I attack in a different fashion, right? So again, we're here in the half guard. I know she wants to come up on this underhook and get that elbow back and underneath her shoulder. She wants to now use this to try to get her bottom leg out, or maybe bring her knee through here and start playing guard. Any number of things. I know this to be the case. It's almost always what people look for first, okay? So when we're here, and she goes for that, I'm wrist pinning here, look. And now my weight is over her. Good luck, good luck. Again, the grip sequence is thumb in the direction of the fingers, not thumb in the direction of the shoulder. So we're here, and even from here, I don't need the underhook. She can keep it. I'll let her think that that's good for her. I'll do this, work my way up just until my right knee is out. I bring the shoelaces in, hooking, sliding my leg through, and now we're playing here. Again, in MMA, I stay here. Boom, boom, big shots. I stay right here. In pure jits, I work my way up into the mount. Maybe if it's a points tournament, I get some points. If it's not a points tournament, whatever, I find my submission potential, right? So this is really, really effective, both MMA, pure jits, controlling somebody in a street fight at the gas station because they were staring at your chick or whatever the hell's going on, right? So add this in. It's really, really effective, okay?
Get away.
Oh, shit. I can't breathe. All right. Okay, so now let's look at wrist pins from mount. This is something I really preach to my kids, students. When they get to mounts and they get to positions, the kids are so turbulent in their motion because they're so flexible and little and they can move. I'm always preaching wrist pin, wrist pin. As soon as you get to a decent position, pin one of their wrists on the mat. Stifles motion. And it creates predictable reactions. That's why a lot of times people at high levels, if you're a blue belt rolling with a black belt, a purple belt rolling with a black belt, you're like, how do they know what I'm doing? They're 5 steps ahead. It's because we're setting up scenarios where there's only one avenue of escape, or one avenue to go down, and we already have traps there, right? So in these sequences, when I'm in mount, we can be here, and I can be like trying to do all my stuff and try to throw 10 submission options or 10 sequences at her, and she has both defensive structures and she can move any direction she wants. Or as soon as we get here, I go, wait, boom, wrist pin. Now she only has really 2 options. Stay flat, I attack the arm that I pinned, or she turns towards that arm to defend it and starts trying defensive structures, defensive options. I guess you can bite. One time, the guy bit my arm, and I just choked his face with my arm inside of his mouth, and it blew all of his lips apart. Yeah, it was great. He was spitting blood all over the mat. Oh. It was bad. I did have a bite mark in my arm, but I won that battle. So here, the 2 things that I find are the main reactions that I get is, one, they'll try to break my hand off their wrist, like this, exactly. In these sequences, usually I go here. And I get into gift wrap options. And now, good Lord, is she screwed. Okay, pure jits, this is money. MMA, bam, bam. That's how I finished my fight 2 Januaries ago or whatever. It was this kind of sequence. But here, the other thing that they might do is they might push my leg here and try to get their leg back in the fight, right? Which is not unwise. I mean, we need our legs back in the fight if we're gonna win these fights. So whether or not she's pushing my leg, I'm kind of always gearing towards a scenario where I'm finding technical mount, okay? Technical mount is almost an S mount, but when they're side on. So if she turned to her side, this would be a technical mount where I have kind of that Captain Morgan stance, one knee up, one knee down. If she was flat on her back, we would consider this more of an S mount, right? So anytime someone's pushing my leg, if they go to the side and they want to recover my leg into their guard, I step that knee up and it completely kills their option, right? So especially from the wrist pin, because they only have one arm to work with, okay? So we're here in mount. I like to do 2-on-1s. You can go double inside cross wrist rides, 2-on-1s. 1-on-1 usually isn't strong enough if it's someone my size, my skill level, but I'll play here, I'll play here. Okay. Once I get these wrists pinned, I go into my supinated grip. Okay, I'm not here. This is awkward. Again, she can roll her hand to the inside, bring her elbows back into defensive structure. Here, she tries to roll her hand to the inside. No, it has to go this way. Well, she goes that way. Man, is she even more screwed, all right? So now here, if she goes to push my leg, I step that knee up. Look, try to get your legs back in the fight. Try to bring your legs in. And it just completely blocks everything. I want you to see it from a different angle. When I go here, She turns and tries to push my leg. Look, she can get her legs back in the fight, right? By just pushing my leg, being strong there, and explosive, no-gi, sweaty, right? If she goes to push my leg, here, I just step this knee up, put my heel into the hip, and now she can try to bring her legs back in the fight. But because of how far my knee is tracked from her now, look at the extension of the limb. She doesn't have any more to give. So now I'm in a position where she's completely extended, and I'm in a safe spot and controlling, and we're still here. MMA, pure jiu-jitsu, I want to start setting up submissions. Now, so to set up my submissions, this is my favorite attack from here. I love doing this attack because it puts them in fight or flight, right? I talk about it a lot. If I put you in a strangle, a blood strangle, most people, especially if you've been doing jiu-jitsu a long time, you can stay fairly calm. If I cover your mouth, stop your breathing, there's this parasympathetic part of your brain that turns on. It's the fight or flight mode, and it's different, right? When you cover somebody's air, they freak out. There's only a few people that I know in my gym who can stay calm in those situations, right? Even though they know that it's happening and they've been through it, they panic. So when I'm here, she's got her arm all the way back here. It's gonna be hard to set up this arm bar at this point. I mean, I could pull it through, but it's obvious. Instead, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cover their mouth, right? As I cover their mouth and their nose, and I'm blocking off, especially when you're sweaty, you kind of create that suction, right? As I block that off, there's only one way they can defend this, with that arm. So as they bring that arm up, I slide up, here. They pull my hand off their face, okay, I go back. Okay, I go back. I keep going back until the 4th or 5th time. When I rip my hand out and I go back, they reach for my hand, I grab their wrist, right? And now they're in this kind of weird mental place where they don't know what's going on, right? And they hate it. At this point, I'm fairly free to set up my arm bar, and it's hard for her to get her grip into the fight because she's in a wrist pin, right? Now, what I like to do, my favorite way of doing this, is as I pin the wrist, they're turned on their side. Here, they push my knee, so I go here. As I cover their mouth and they bring their hand into the fight, I keep going back to it. I grab, as I sit my weight onto them, I like to step on this arm. So now as I go for the armbar, she reaches for her hand. She can't get to it. Boom. We're here, right? This is one of my favorite attacks, one of my best tricks, right? And I do it all the time. Now I'm in my sequence to go to my breaks. Very simple from one basic position, a wrist pin. Everywhere I'm at, when I'm fighting, I'm looking to pin. When I'm playing here, okay, I'm pinning wrists. Always. Everywhere. Half guard, butterfly guard, full guard, mount, I'm pinning wrists. How can they build up? How can they build height? How can they actually cause me potential threat? Right? I even pin feet. Playing here, they might be trying to sweep me, I'll pin a foot to the mat. Right? I'll pin a foot to the mat. Look. And now I'm working inside position, look. Right? That's not comfortable. And that's how I want my jiu-jitsu to feel all the time, right? So really, I'm telling you, it's so simple, so effective. You guys have to add this in. It'll change your game. You're like, wait, jiu-jitsu is that easy? Yeah, fucking it is. I say it all the time to my students. Jiu-jitsu is so simple. You just have to learn a lot about jiu-jitsu before you can make it simple. But it's very, very simple. Wrist pin. Now you're effective, right?
Sounds easy, doesn't work. But it does work.
All right, guys, there you have it. A little video about wrist pins. I don't know how many of you noticed there, but when we were doing the closed guard aspect yesterday, my mic broke, the actual cord broke, so we had to come back today after I noticed it in editing and reshoot, which there's a lot, but it's a great video. And we're doing, again, a vlog style today. It's our 100th video. I can't believe it. So we're showing you kind of what our day-to-day is, right? This is kind of how we do weekends. We get up, we have our coffee, hang out with the dogs, we take the dogs to the park, we come shoot some videos, we go to the river, we do this whole thing, and this is very commonly how our days work out. Sometimes we go shoot
Get froyo?
guns, sometimes we go shoot bows, we go get froyo, sometimes we go do a bunch of different things, but this is kind of how our days go on the weekends.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us. We got some more stuff after this video of our river day with the dogs. But yeah, so I really hope you like this video. The technique, the wrist pin is so effective, right? I love it, I love it. I use it all the time. It's what makes me able to beat bigger, stronger, and even better guys sometimes, right? Especially those MMA fighters out there. Start pinning people's wrists and you're gonna damage them up, right? For those of you who don't know, we just got our first BJJ Fanatics video out. I'll put the link down in the description. It's all about straight arm bars, secret weapons. It's a whole comprehensive guide from several different positions and so many different attacks we can get off of there, not just the secret weapon, plenty of videos on that.
We're nerding out.
Yeah, so we get nerded out a little bit. For our members and those of you who want to become members, we're looking to start adding a little more for you guys. We want to start making extended, long videos, really in-depth technical videos for just the members. So I would suggest you start joining and become a member, because that's going to be kind of priceless, where we're going to get 30, 40, 50-minute videos in depth on just individual techniques and concepts of jiu-jitsu that help me in my game. And other than that, we're really happy you guys were here for our 100th video. So grateful. We hope you liked it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see what we have in the future. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. Ready? That's one of the better parts of my day. Harley, Bodhi, let's go. Come on. Every time. I get so excited. Wait, hold on. So someone just literally fell
Like that.
over here. She slipped in, jumped over there, and was standing right there, and then full on slipped and fell.
It was an authentic fall. Like, I
Full
couldn't
on.
even catch myself.
Here we go. Watch. Good boy. Ready, Harley? Go get it. There she goes. Go, mama. Good girl. And he just waits. As soon as she brings it back, he steals it from her.
Smash it right up.
Watch, here we go. Here it is. Yep, Harley did all the work. And Bodhi takes it.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, ah. Yeah, and that's what we're. Those of you who don't know, this water is Lake Folsom runoff, which is also a runoff from the American River, which is snow melt. So it's cold water. And Aggie's
If I
gonna.
only had like feet covers, this probably wouldn't be as bad.
Aggie's gonna do a nice little cold plunge. See how it goes.
I'm keeping my hair dry.
You know it's slippery.
I'm keeping my hair dry.
Hey, how is it?
Oh.
And then the dogs are busy over here with their floaty toy that Bodhi just threw in the water.
Wim Hof. Wim Hof.
Wim Hof. And this is how we spend summer times.
Oh my god, my feet.
Just,
My hands. It's so cold.
just out here doing our thing.
Okay.
You're done?
Yeah. Okay, get in the water. Oh my god. About time.
Oh my god. Got a little tired mutt right there. I got two lounging. Just hanging out. This is our life. Hopefully we're doing this a lot this summer.
Heck yeah, brother.
Harley, Mama was a good girl.
Our favorite ice cream. Tango
This is
Froyo?
Froyo.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Froyo, baby. All day, pomegranate, Reese's peanut butter cups.
See, I'm a tart girl with blueberry and pomegranate.
This is downtown Auburn, by the way. Auburn.
That's it right there. Tango. What is that?
Well, it's the end of the night, folks. Eating some strawberries, blueberries, a little bit of chocolate, Bodhi and Harley are exhausted from swimming. We're sunburned. Got a little bit red there. But part of the deal. Anyway, thanks for joining us on a little day out and about, doing what we do. Effectively, that's how every day goes.
Hell yeah,
Except
brother.
some days we don't shoot, and some days we do. But generally, those are our days.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching. Oh, that's a forearm. You see that? Bye, guys.
Bye.